So anyway, here's where I am. And wow, I don't know if you can see that, but man, that water is clear. So normally you would just pull in and you know, lean out the window. I pulled in and just like parked a little bit and I walked up. I just wanted to kind of see the thing. It's a national or state, probably. Well, they don't have states, they have provinces, so it's a park. We'll go with federal. National. 200 baht for foreigners. Headquarters, beach. I'm definitely going to the beach. Oh, show ticket, cool. So here's my ticket. I don't know if you guys can see my ticket, but I'll show it to you when I get up there. Sawadee krab.
ตรงตามรถคันนี้ไปเลยนะครับ
ทะเล
โอเค
ครับ I know the word for sea, which is delay, which is kind of the equivalent of like going to a park in Florida and being like, is it this way to the ocean? Anyway, I don't want to hear any sort of nonsense about the fact that it's like 200 baht for foreigners and I assume less for Thais. He did clarify, which I appreciate, because I asked him, I said, oh, so like I have a driver's license, does that matter? Because some parks I've driven up to, and I remember this one woman actually just in Phuket. She was like, oh, do you have a Thai driver's license? I said, yeah. And she didn't even, I said yes. She said, okay. And then like either let me in or charged me very little or something. I don't actually remember what the scenario was, but nature trail tourist attraction. So I tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna park here and then I'm gonna walk there, because I think that'll just be easier. And I'm gonna back in right next to these other people that are backed in, and then I'm gonna walk around and I'm gonna be awesome, because that's how I roll. My default setting is awesome, and I blame all of you for that. And so there you go. So now I'm in a parking spot. Thank you, Mazda 2 backup camera. Make sure I give everybody the same amount of room here, because again, I'm awesome. But the other thing I want to remind everyone is that it's high season, he said in air quotes. And anyway, so bottom line is I have zero problem spending like $5.50 or whatever it is to be here, because excuse me, because I don't pay taxes the same way the Thais do. I actually, as it turns out, I pay more, but I also don't pay the price of living here. And I don't mean that in a bad way, but I mean, I think we could all argue that if you're watching this, there's a high likelihood that you grew up in a Western country. And because of that, if you don't think we are privileged, then I invite you to get a clue and realize that at least 90, if not 95% of the world wants your problems. Of having too much stuff and being too in debt. It's the American way. Anyway, so let me just finish off my Coke Zero here. Amidst the fact that I'm disappointed once again by the ability for my GoPro to have a long charge, I'm pleased that plugging it into the thing here, the charging port of the Mazda, has provided me 85% battery, which is when I started this as I came into the park. So now we're going to go hang out. We're gonna go out there, and oh, excuse me. I'm gonna walk around, and I'm gonna show you guys where I am. Now, I didn't bring my ticket, I don't know if I need my ticket, but oh, okay. I guess I'm gonna get in this truck. I'm not sure where I'm gonna go. I kind of like to walk, actually. I would prefer to walk, but he pushed me into the van, so I guess I'll go into the Song Tao. I'm not even sure what happens here. Everything's in Thai, and I couldn't be happier. But we'll see. Now I'll get these other people plenty of room. So far the way it works is you come in, you park, and then there's a Song Tao that magically shows up and you get in it. Which as someone who likes to walk and loves towers, I'm okay with this so far. But there was like a path down there that I wanted to go to. So now I can't feed the monkeys, which I guess is okay. And I'm under the impression that this is actually quite a walk, so this would have been a while. But I have my 83 baht hat, and so therefore I'm happy as a clam. And yeah, okay. So this is the infamous I don't know what I don't know. Oh, okay, so they just take you down. Can I get out here? I hope I can get out here. I think I can get out here. Maybe not. I'd like to get out here. Maybe he takes us all the way. Oh my goodness, yeah, this would have been quite the walk. So here's a tip. I recommend taking the Song Tao. I did want to kind of hang out up there though. There's a toilet over there. Nature trail. Oh, campsites. I tell you what.
2-1-2-3 ขึ้นโอเคครับเชิญลงได้เลยครับผมเดี๋ยวลงที่ขอบสนามหญ้าขวามือเลยไปเลย
And I guess they wait there and then they go back. As far as I know, that's the maximum amount of instruction that I'll get, which is nice. I hope I can just sort of cruise around and do it. Well, let's take a look at the map. Let me check that out first and find out. I assume there's a UR here, which is probably this. Can I assume this means UR here? I think it does. Okay, so then that tells me that there's probably a hiking trail that goes all the way down there, I guess. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It looks like 1 through 9. Okay. That means there's a ferry out there. Those boats, maybe? I don't know. I believe I parked here. Maybe not. Maybe I parked here. That actually looks a little bit more. Yeah, maybe. I guess those are bungalows, yeah? Where is the parking? So that's the distance. All right, well, this is cool. They seem to be frequent, so that's awesome. I always love seeing these. If you go back, I'll actually put a link to it potentially. If you go back, geez, Gracie and I have been together how long? So 7 years. If you go back 7 years, I went to a village, and up in the village of Thailand, every village basically makes something. So there's like a village that makes little glass ornaments, believe it or not. And then there's villages, of course, that do peanuts and, you know, rice and all that, right? So the village that I went to with my then Thai girlfriend was one that made these things. They made concrete things. And they made like those big Buddhas, like kind of like that Buddha over there, but with smaller boobs. And so anyway, here's where I am. And oh, there's an animal in there. Wow, I don't know if you can see that, but man, that water is clear. And oh, nice. He's got a tripod on his DSLR. But again, this is I want to say it's about 9. And again, I believe it's a holiday day. long weekend, and high season. And as far as I'm concerned, if this is high season, okay, so I'm guessing that that little wooden walkway over there, and then all the way out to that thing, is the whole like 1 through 9 that we saw on the, goodness gracious, I mean, this is just, this is what you came here for. Wrote a song about it, here it goes. How many times in your life have you been somewhere that isn't too far away from basically where you live and work and said to yourself, dude, why don't I do this more often? And one could, those are kind of cool, solar LEDs. One could argue that if we don't do that, then the appreciation for this isn't as high. We'll see. So sorry, God. That's kind of cool. Obviously man-made, right? I mean, this is, these rocks are well placed, but look at this down there. I have no clue. I won't know until post whether the GoPro picks up the cleanliness of this water, which is just gorgeous. I'm at the stage where, because of my amazing 83 baht hat, I'm actually unclear whether the Thais are smiling at me and saying hello, or whether they're laughing at me, because they're like, dude, you know that, like, that's the cerebral equivalent of wearing idiot pants, which is the ones with the elephants on them. I really should just go down there and take that boat. I think the GoPro microphone actually is picking up the sound of that water. Which I hope you're enjoying. So the other thing too is that I guess I really just sort of needed this, and I'm not really sure of the exact steps and the exact order that they occurred that got me to the point where I needed this. I didn't just want it, right? Because again, on this channel, I did a whole lot of videos similar to this. I would like go explore places because I wanted to, and I wasn't burned out or whatever. I don't know, maybe I'm burned out, and maybe I needed this. Now again, you know, I joke around, right, with Only Child Beach and all that, but the reality is that if you don't know, and if you're not an only child, then you don't know. Alone time is the norm, and so it's not peculiar to me. I don't feel lonely when I'm alone, and in fact I get a great deal of satisfaction being alone and discovering things, but also just being by myself, even if it's not, you know. You get, oh, do I have any change? All right, cool. So I think what happens is that I put a certain amount of baht into this person's hand, into their boob, which is kind of, it doesn't really look like a girl, so I'm gonna go with world's biggest ladyboy statue, and I'm gonna put my 5 baht there. That's just my 5 baht. So hello. But that's an interesting statue, and they really accentuated the nipple. I mean, that is really, oh, so for those of you that can read, which I cannot, because of course I have a master's degree from the United States, and therefore I can't read or write. No loud noise is the sign up here, so I'm assuming that means I just talk into my hand, and that's not too loud. I'm not gonna do a live stream from here yet. But I think what I will do, I'll tell you what would be awesome, right, is if this was like COVID time, then there would be no one here. And then, oh, it's just a switch, okay. Because what I would want is a power outlet, and then I could do a live stream. But I can't do that here, which I'm totally okay with. There are people there, and they seem to be stopping at random spots, I believe, for photos. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let them... actually, maybe I'm going to walk past them. I think maybe I'm going to walk past them. Oops. I don't want to get in that person's photo. They have no need for farang, I'm quite certain. This is so clear, dude. Now, I think if I had drove straight right to here, it would have taken me about 90 minutes. I stopped along the way and had coffee at Mermaid Coffee Truck. 10-year-old Mermaid Coffee Truck. And I also went to a 7-Eleven and did some stuff like that. I was in no hurry. I was in no hurry getting anywhere, and yet here I am enjoying this well before 10 a.m. And I used to pride myself on being able to sleep till 10 a.m. Okay, that was, okay, to be fair, that was like 30 years ago. 40. 40. So I think we all agree that I don't do YouTube for the money, and for the most part I do it for to show my mom what I'm doing, and also to show Gracie. This is one of these times when Gracie and Eurice are actually in the Philippines. They'll be here in about 10 days. Actually, by now they'll be here in 7 days, I think. And if you had forgotten, we judge the places we are on the level of 1 to rope swing. And so that is a rope swing, which is awesome. Oh, kato crap. So, I mean, look, I'm here basically on vacation, right? And so are the Thais. They're on vacation here today. Unless you work at a national park, then of course you're here on vacation. So my point is they're in a good mood, but I never tire of the smiles that I get from Thais, especially when I do my best to use a Thai word that I believe I'm pronouncing correct, which is katok krap, which basically means excuse me, I hope. This is what I believe. This is not one of my values, this is one of my beliefs. Cool little area. I think the big thing for me right now is, well, first of all, appreciation that I'm alive and able to be here alive, because just being alive but being in a federal prison would not be, well, maybe I would appreciate it. I'm not gonna try. I can tell you that I appreciate being here right now, alive. But secondly, this infamous high season that we're in, and this is the level of density of people, so that's pretty awesome, because there was a part of me there for a while. I would get up in the morning and I would go to work. I wouldn't go to work, I would work. I'm a worker, right? I like to work. But as I was doing it, now this is one of these things that I believe you probably take your shoes off to go on, and it's kind of neat. I tell you what, I'll do it. And then there's the glass thing there, and I'm pretty sure like most people just walk onto this thing with their shoes on. But and stuff like this is kind of cool. I mean, look, there's one of these in Bangkok, of course, and in other areas, in other tourist areas. But specifically to Bangkok, what I'm thinking of is the what a lot of people refer to as the Mahanakhon building, which, if you know that Krung Thep Mahanakhon just simply means Bangkok. Actually, the full word for Bangkok is ginormous. But Krung Thep Mahanakhon, I don't know what the literal translation of that is. I mean, does it mean like, like Los Angeles, right? In Spanish, one could argue that, the angels, city of angels. It's not like it's Ciudad de Los Angeles. But anyway, I'm going to assume that I'm not going to have to take my shoes off for that, because that's the bridge. So I'm just going to put them back on. But there's that one, and just so you know, it's the King Power building, in the sense that like it's sponsored by them, right? Obviously not every single office there is King Power, but they did the most sponsorship, much like the AT&T Stadium or the Qualcomm Stadium sort of thing. Petco Park. But anyway, a lot of people refer to it as the Mahanakhon building, which is the twisted one, which I adore the design of, and it's got wonderful views, and the architecture is phenomenal. It's the twisted one. So, danger. I'm no stranger to danger. The other thing is that it is, again, it's probably, I don't know, where's the sun? Is it 10 maybe? Maybe it's not, maybe it's after 9, maybe it's 10. The sun is ridiculously hot. I don't know what this means, but I assume it has something to do with the sun and the earth. Tides are a phenomenon caused by gravitational influence of the moon. So I'm sorry, this is the moon, this is the earth, and then of course the moon. When the mass of the water, which toward to the moon side is pulled out, then at the area there will be high tide. On the other side, which perpendicular to the attraction of the moon, it will be the low tide phenomenon. That's neat. I like the education of that. I can't help but wonder how many people read that for the first time and they were like, oh really, the moon is what causes the tides? I don't know when I learned that. It was a while ago. There's a cool little fort. I have gotten to the point, I think, which has allowed me to appreciate where I am right now a little bit more. And I don't know if I ever told you guys, back when I was applying for colleges, which might be the similar vintage as you guys, they're watching this. When I did that, you had to submit an essay. It was a waste of my time, which I am absolutely guilty of doing. I try and not blame others for my decisions in life, meaning, dude, you wasted my time, or you took advantage of me. It's like, no, I kind of let you take it, right? And try to take as much personal responsibility as I can, and I'm imperfect at that. But even when I was, so how long ago was that? I mean, that was basically about 37 years ago that I was applying to colleges. And again, back then I was like, look, every experience is a learning experience, be it bad or good. And I would submit, if you're conscious enough to remember that, sorry, if I am conscious enough to remember that and apply that to pretty much every experience, then my expectations might be met. And that's kind of what I'm having happen right now, which is why I'm recording this and why I'm sharing it, because this is the kind of video that potentially you like watching because you watch this channel, or is a good reminder for me. So selfishly, this might be a video that I watch. And you might not, which is okay. But for me, experiencing this sort of thing, taking time out and smelling the roses, and then appreciating the fact that someone during their walk decided, you know what, I'm gonna spend some time doing that thing with the rocks. And that is really, really awesome. I really appreciate that. I was also not planning on this. And that meaning I was not planning on going to a national park. I was planning on finding a beach that my friend told me about that was vacant, and spending some time there. I did a little bit this morning, but the beach that I'm at is ginormous, and so therefore I could literally drive for 2 minutes and just stop and stay. Drive for 2 more minutes, and it's just like more beach, more beach, more beach. Plenty of places where there's not restaurants and you know, chairs and umbrellas and stuff for rent, but there are little ones of those. And in fact, along the beach, what I noticed is that there are some of those that are just sitting there, like there's nobody monitoring it, and so therefore there are these chairs and tables like you would see along the beaches in Thailand. and umbrellas, and you know, you just kind of sit down. Have someone come up, obviously, you know, hey, here's a couple hundred baht or however much it is. And usually what I like to do is I like to order a fresh coconut, because the nice thing about Thailand is that at those spaces, at those little beach chairs and things, my experience is that when they have those coconuts available, the fresh coconuts available, they've been sitting in a giant bucket of ice water for a while. So it's nice and cold, and that's awesome. And so usually what I'll do is I'll just be like, well, yeah, just give me nam maprao, coconut water, liquid nam maprao chai cup. How long have these been here? These are definitely not man-made. How long have these rocks been here before they said, you know, we should put a national park here? The exploration that is available in Thailand, I really, really hope you guys don't forget that. One of the things that is cool about living here is, well, living here. One of the downsides for me is that living anywhere, and I don't know whether you guys do this, but what I do is I get used to places. I arguably probably take places for granted, just as I did in Southern California. I lived in an area where pretty much the majority of the country saves up all year to come for 2 weeks, and I live there all day, every day, because it's a very common vacation spot, which is San Diego, California. And of course I got there, and every day I would go to the beach, at least like on the way to work. I would drive there, sit for 5 minutes, and then continue my commute and go to work. Or after work, I would come there, I would park my car at my house, and I would walk over to the beach. And then it became, well, I'll just do it, you know, I'll tell you what, I'm not gonna do it today, I'll do it tomorrow. And then I would do it tomorrow. And then it was like, well, I'm not gonna do it, I'll tell you what, I'll do it this weekend. And then I would do it on the weekend, and then Saturday would come and be like, oh man, I just wanna relax today and like do some laundry and do some nothing. So I'd do that, and then Sunday, like, oh, okay, well, at least I'll cruise over there. Then I would do it once a week. And then the weather wouldn't be perfect, and so I'd be, I'll do it next weekend. I don't know why I do that. If you guys do that and you have a solution to it, I would love to know what that is for you. Let me see how I'm doing battery wise. I'm at about 34%, and oh, I'm only like 29 minutes into this video. And again, this is not one of these super edited videos. It's a walk and talk-ish thingy that I used to do more regularly than I am now. And arguably, maybe that behavior that I was talking about basically taking things for granted, is what I did for my YouTube channel. Because I can tell you that I've met so many cool people of yours, and I'm not saying this specifically to any person or whatever, but one of the things that's come up lately about YouTube for me is, oh, that dude buys his subscribers, right? Or he buys his views. And that's usually used in a derogatory way, and it's actually significantly less now, but there used to be all this nonsense drama around YouTubers, expat YouTubers, and they would do that. They would be able to justify, or they would use that to justify the success of their channel compared to other people's channels, and they would say, oh yeah, but he buys his views. And I gotta tell you, it's been tempting along the way, but I am so grateful that I didn't, because I now believe that the 2,000 or 2,500 or whatever subscribers that I have, all of you guys are like here because you want to be here, and I've been able to meet quite a few of you. You guys are awesome. Like, some of you are really good friends of mine now. So thanks. But it's never been about, you know, doing it for the numbers. That's not where where my ego gets fuel, and I absolutely have an ego, but it's just not attached to that. I don't know really what it's attached to anymore. It certainly isn't attached to the car that I drive, or the house that I have, or the amount of money that I have in the bank, or the amount of beauty that my mate possesses. A beauty that somehow we all seem sort of to agree on. It's like, oh dude, she's hot. Now, I will tell you right now that it is absolutely my 100% belief that, dude, my wife is hot. I think she's gorgeous. And yeah, there's probably a little bit of bias there, but I mean, the more we get to know each other and laugh, oh man, the beauty just extends. And you know, one could argue that her physical beauty to me is, well, it's perfect. So anyway, but my ego's not attached to that. But I know it's attached to something, and I don't know what that is. I also don't know if it's attached to something and it's a electric bond, or whether it's sort of a bungee cord attachment. But I have absolutely, I must see, now this is probably where I would start. It's probably what I could do right there, and I'm not going to ruin it, but maybe that's where you start, and then you move up to the bigger rocks. But I have patience for some things, not the least of which is probably watching this whole video. And if you guys have made it all the way this far, well then, thank you. I hope it added value. It's adding value to me by doing it. And what I've discovered is that if I make these videos and I upload them and I share them, then the people that are like me, that in fact know what I mean when I say I'm having a gratitude attack, then they seem to like them as well. And they'll potentially watch them, or they'll watch them and then pop. But look at how gorgeous this is, guys. This is a gratitude attack I'm having right now, because I get to be here. And if there is anyone, or you know of anyone, that would label this as not fair because as a foreigner I had to pay more money than a Thai person to come in here, then I would really invite you to go to another channel, because you're not gonna resonate with any of the beliefs that I have if you're able to pick out that as the takeaway from this video. If you're not picking up the whole gratitude attack thing, that's fine. But if you are, and like I just said to Gracie a little while ago, I sent her a picture and I said, honey, next time I tell you that I'm stressed, remind me of here. So maybe that's the reason you're watching this video, so that however long from now, when you interface with me or whatever, and you're like, oh my God, dude, why are you so stressed? What the hell's your problem? And then you're like, dude, remember that video? And I'll be like, right. That's what separates you, my friend, from someone who I would label as an acquaintance. Friendship is tough. I will tell you that, like I mentioned in another video about expatations, right? I don't know. It's, I know that I don't like seek out expats to hang out with just because like they're expats. But to be fair, I also don't like seek out Thais to hang out with, right? I just sort of do my life, and then if others enter it, then I assume that's sort of an intervention of some kind by the universe, Buddha, whatever. But I've always loved these trees. There's a part of me that thinks that they're like really big survivors, because like the water came up and they're like, oh no, we're gonna put even more roots down. Okay, ocean, bring it. And I don't know whether that's the case. I don't know whether they have extra, because obviously like these things are growing, I assume, right? Like this is the start of it, and then this is the result, and it grows and grows and grows and grows down, and then it allows it to have some degree of fortitude. But is it like right here, right? I mean, this is almost like, oh wait a minute, this is like man-made, you know? Like, I mean, like they bought this thing at a nursery and then they added those, like you'll see in a mall. Like for instance, if you've ever been to True Digital Park up in Bangkok, then you know that like all the trees there, they literally would fall over if they didn't have the support system that is, you know, drilled into the trunk of it, because they're not really supposed to be there. Trees like that aren't supposed to grow inside of concrete. So anyway, it's it's neat to see how nature is like, no, this is, we designed it this way. You guys are welcome to mimic it. This has been really, really awesome. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope that this lens, I hope that this camera is giving you an idea of how much of this experience is available in Thailand, basically for free. And I would really invite you guys to come here. Sawadee krap. And the reason being is that I have some friends that are here, when I say here, that are in Pattaya / Jomtien, and some of them, they're all male, and some of them are here because they've been here before and they love it, and they love Jomtien because it's not Pattaya and it's quieter, but there's still a ton to do. And then there are, you know, some guys that are in Pattaya because they want to do what you do in Pattaya, right at the beach. There's plenty of Pattaya that isn't soy 6 and all that. Of course, that's what gets the most hits on YouTube, right? So, but knowing that is pretty awesome, because then all I got to do is not make a video of that. And as I've mentioned before, I believe that then the only people that watch my videos are actually my friends, and not ones that are looking for sort of sensational media, which you can get on so many channels already. And I hope you're here to get my perspective on why Thailand. When's the last time I made one of those videos? I think I made a series of 7 or 8. I'll put a link to that and allow you to go back to the playlist that is Why Thailand. But I was watching a few of those videos the other day. A friend of mine reminded me of those videos the other day, and I sent him the link to the playlist. I said, oh yeah, I forgot about this. He goes, oh man, that's when I started following you, and Gracie moved there, and it was before you were married. And you know, he was praising those videos, and I was just so grateful. I was like, thank you, man. I made them to share my experience, and apparently my experience is either the same as what many of you have experienced, and you're like, oh yeah, Mike, I remember when I first moved to Thailand. I remember how awesome it was when I moved to Thailand. So, who knows? But, oh wow, there's loudspeakers. Maybe they're gonna like, hey, get off the park. Hello. Hi. The park is closing. Maybe that's what those are for up there. The park is closing. You must leave for the day. I believe the sign said 4:30. 16:30, I believe that's when it said it closed. Not sure. I don't think I put him on camera, but the guy that walked past me on the left, definitely a Westerner. Don't know if he was an American or not, but he had an AC/DC Back in Black t-shirt on. So that was comforting. Ooh, Spider-Man. Nice. I'm a big fan of Spider-Man. I like to think that I have spidey sense, actually, and that helps me to navigate various scenarios with success. Hello. Sawadee krap. They're selfieing, so hopefully I got past them fast enough where they can. Now, okay, this is, I think, rope swing number 2. And I also believe that there is rope swing number 1 that was damaged. I didn't see rope swing number 2, but that's cool. So at least they have a main, and of course, because that is damaged, they have a backup for disaster recovery. Although arguably that's not really a disaster, that's more of a disappointment, because you still have the 1 rope. And then, oh, and there's a 3rd rope swing up there. Oh my goodness, this place just got a 3 rope swing rating from the kid. This is great. Love the rope swing. I especially like it when it's in an area just like that one back there, where that little boy was like swinging on the rope swing, right? And nobody else is waiting for it. No one's like, no, let me use the rope swing. It's like, no, he's got his own little piece of paradise, little slice of awesome, and he's hanging out at the rope swing. Wow, this is I haven't done one of these in forever, these walk and talk thingies. So this has been really nice. This park is not the don't tell anyone about this park. So I'm confident that if I upload this, I won't be sort of going against any commitments I made to my friends about, hey, here's a beach that's secluded, go here, but don't tell anybody. It's a national park, so. But it's also secluded, and it's secluded in mid-December on high season in 2023. So with that, it's Mike's from LiveMyAssOff.com saying I hope you're living the dream, because if you are not living the dream, then there's a high likelihood that you've been in Thailand, you've potentially come to a national park, but you haven't hung out and put money in the hand and the boob of a giant boobed statue. And if you haven't done that, you need to come to Thailand. Talk to you guys soon. Ciao.